What are coordination compounds good for? Well, they are excellent chelating agents. So ethylene-diamine-tetraacetate ion, EDTA, has 6 lone pairs, can form very stable complex ions. So calcium EDTA is used to treat heavy metal poisoning. So here we have this complex ion with this chelating ligand, and when this encounters lead, the lead will displace the calcium because the lead complex ion is more stable than the calcium. When a metal ion is in a complex like this, it cannot really do anything. Okay, it can't get oxidized or reduced. It can't interact in any of the ways it normally does. It's like it's, I don't know, in a prison or something. So EDTA is something that can be used to get lead out of solutions. Chemical analysis. This should look a little familiar. Some ligands are selective for specific metal ions and can be used in chemical analysis. Thiocyanate is used to test for cobalt. We get a blue solution. Or for iron 3, you get a deep red solution. Other ligands may form colored precipitates. But if you remember when we did those net ionic equations, all of the group C metals made complex ions, and they all had a color to them. Coordination compounds are also good as coloring agents. So iron blue is an example. It's used in ink, paint, cosmetics, and blueprints. That's a mixture of hexacyano complexes of iron 2 and iron 3. Living systems also have many metal complexes. So here are several transition metals and how they function in the body. Iron is really important. It functions in oxygen transport. It's an important part of the hemoglobin molecule. But here, chromium works with insulin to control glucose. Manganese helps with fat and carbohydrate synthesis. Zinc involved in cell reproduction and tissue growth. Lots of things for zinc to do. And so you may be aware that there's supplements you can take. And of course you don't want to go overboard. But if you are deficient in any of these metals, chromium metal is toxic in high quantities, but in very small quantities it's necessary. Right? It's just like oxygen or water. Too much of it's going to kill you, and not enough is also going to kill you. So, here are a couple of biomolecules that involve complex ions. So, there's another problem. So, a hemoglobin and cytochrome C both have a complex of iron and a porphyrin, which is a flat polydentate ligand. And that connects to a protein. So the porphyrin has 4 nitrogen atoms, and those are what can be the ligands coordinating to the metal ion. So here we've got the iron in the middle, and here are the nitrogens that are forming that complex ion. This, of course, would have hydrogen atoms all over the place. We left them out because it's just very cluttered. And so here is cytochrome, where we've got this heme that's connected to the protein. Like a 90s screensaver. Yeah, a little bit. How about this guy? Isn't that pretty? In hemoglobin, we've got an octahedral complex. So again, we've got the nitrogens on the heme. Those are in a square planar arrangement. We've got a nitrogen from the protein in the 5th site, and then either oxygen or water will go into the 6th site. And so that's how hemoglobin carries oxygen around. These are important in enzymes. Carbonic anhydrase catalyzes the reaction between water and carbon dioxide, which happens in respiration. So we've got zinc in a tetrahedral complex where 3 sites are occupied by nitrogen from nearby amino acids, and there's 1 site available to bind a water molecule. The zinc draws the electron density of that water molecule towards itself, so it makes it easier for the water to lose a hydrogen ion. And then the hydroxide ion that is now bound to the zinc will combine with CO2 and make bicarbonate ion. Chlorophyll. This is also porphyrin-based, but it has magnesium instead of iron, and it doesn't have the protein surrounding it. So here we've got magnesium in here. Yep, more overlapping pictures. So chlorophyll, essential for photosynthesis. We also find these in drugs and therapeutic agents. Cisplatin is an effective cancer drug, and that functions by attaching to the cancer cell's DNA and making it harder for it to reproduce.